In this edition, Ministry announces military is undergoing deep reform. President Trump addresses a nation on border wall crisis. Hello and welcome to Oromia Broadcasting Network News. I'm Thomas Kamulato with the latest story of the hour. Those were the headlines, now news in brief. Minister of Defense Engineer Aisha Mohammed said the reform undertaken in the Defense Force would help the Army to effectively fulfill its mission. Fikar Brown has more on this.
Minister of Defense Engineer Aisha Mohammed has presented her ministry's 6 months performance report to the House of People's Representatives. According to her, reform works were underway in the past 6 months to establish a strong defense force which can fulfill national mission. She said the government has made amendments on national defense proclamations and 20 articles were amended to establish modern defense force. She adds that reform workers will continue to have a strong defense force. Defense is among key organizations who can ensure peace and stability of the country. As government, we are working to reform our defense force based on professionals. Works are also underway to lead the defense in a coordinated way, she said. Engineer Aisha underscored that in order to re-establish naval force, the country has tried to share experiences from French and Kenyan naval force in the past 6 months. She noted that many defense forces who can fulfill the requirement have been promoted and 7,017 others retired from military for failing to pass a psychometric test. She further noted that the reform is undertaken in accordance to the Constitution.
Vice President of Tigray Regional State, Debretsion briefed media on the current issue in the region. The Vice President said the efforts of some groups made to block the National Defense Force move from its base on Eritrea border is illegal and unconstitutional. Olka Ondemo had the story.
Vice President of Tigray Regional State Dr. Debretsion has briefed media concerning the current issues in the regional state. The National Defense Force was blocked by residents of Shire while it was leaving its base on the Eritrean border and moving to another areas for a national responsibility. Dr. Debretsion in his media briefing stated that the Tigray Regional State residents should focus on developmental activities rather than blocking National Army movements to other bases. The President underscored that the community should turn its face towards development activities and other important tasks. He also said the National Army can move its members from place to place in order to discharge its responsibility. Every citizen of the country can ask the government in order to ensure the rule of law, but in the manner of respecting rule of law by themselves, he added. Dr. Debretsion also said that the open border territory with Eritrea can benefit the people of both countries and strengthen the people-to-people relationships than ever. Vice Chief of Staff and Head of Operational General Branu Jula, for his part, underscored that no one can have the right to block way on the National Defense Force, adding the people of Tigray can never do such things on its National Defense Force, but some groups are working on this agenda to satisfy their evil plan. So the people of Tigray should be aware on this and be alarmed enough to keep its surroundings peace and stability together with the National Defense Force. The federal government has clearly stated that the National Defense Force can move from place to place without any restrictions and hindrances.
Prime Minister of Ireland, Leo Varadkaris, arrived in Finfinne City, Ethiopia for official visit. Upon arrival at Bole International Airport, Prime Minister was received by State Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Marcos Takle. His visit will last until 11th January, according to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Mr. Leo Varadkaris met with Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed and discuss various issues related to the historic relationship between the two countries. The two premiers have discussed and agreed to work together on areas of agriculture, education, and the other development programs. He pleaded that his country has allocated over 30 million euros development aid for Ethiopia for this fiscal year through Irish Aid program. through Irish program. Ireland and Ethiopia enjoy a 25 years of diplomatic relations. President of Wallo University underscored that his university has been striving to strengthen the Oromo culture and values among Oromo society living in Wallo area. Soricha Kabanicha has the detail.
Wallo University has started teaching Afan Oromo in this academic year in its main campus found in Dase town. President of Wallo University, Dr. Abate Getaun, said they have started teaching Afan Oromo, their university students, the real representatives of Ethiopia, by enabling them to use plenty of languages.
The students came from outside of Oromia regional state can speak Afan Oromo here in a short period of time. They can write, they can speak and communicate in Afan Oromo. The reason why we opened this faculty is to respond to the demand of our students.
Dr. Abate revealed that more than 300 students were registered to study Afan Oromo in this newly opened faculty. He added that they are working to establish Center of Language and Culture Studies in Wallo very soon to study the culture and the language of Wallo society and depth. Instructor Faisal Dunya, who is Afan Oromo faculty head at Wallo University for his part, said that the desire and the need of the surrounding community has forced them to open this faculty.
I know this area, Wallo people, for a long period of time. In my stay here, I understand that the people of Wallo, Kamise, and other people have had an Oromo background, and they were eager to learn Afan Oromo more. That is why we have Afan Oromo faculty here.
Minister of Water, Irrigation and Energy stated that efforts should be exerted to modernize water and sanitation service in the country. Ulma Bain has the detail.
Ministry of Water, Irrigation and Energy is going to undertake inventory of water institutions at the country level. Minister of Water, Irrigation and Energy, Dr. Engineer Seleshi Bakala, said that it is for the second time that water institutions are going to be counted. Dr. Engineer Seleshi added that the process will be effective for 15 consecutive days. The minister noted that the 2011-2012 data were not clear in quality due to its poor way of gathering information.
The previous data collecting system in water institutions and other have had limitations. To improve this, using technology is very important. In 2011 and 2012, the data were filled on papers that occupy a place. We have to learn from it.
Dr. Engineer Seleshi said that this year's data gathering process is supported by technology. He added that the process would improve limitations that have been observed in the sector and balances demands and supply.
Counting water institutions will enable us to check and balance our demands and supply in the sector. It also helps us to identify where challenges and the limitations are found.
The minister underscored that all water and liquid institutions in cities and towns as well as water pumps in rural areas are going to be counted. 4,075 tablets were also bought with cost of $2.1 million, and more than 4,000 people are also ready to count. 500 supervisors will also be assigned, it was said. More than 1 million birr is also allocated for the process. Dr. Engineer Seleshi stated that the process will help to realize water supply standard both in the cities and in the countrysides. The minister also called upon the entire people of the country to support the expertise assigned for this process.
The Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority announced that it is preparing implementation principles that help to control illegal trades in the sector. According to the authorities, though proclamations and rules were designed previously, the absence of implementation principles hampered the move towards effectively in illegal trade in the sector. The authorities stressed that illegal traders who are operating out of the normal trade chain are posing serious threats to the coffee trade and thereby making the country lose huge economic benefit it gains from the sector. According to the authority, up to 1,500 tons of coffee is annually caught while traded illegally. The authority said the new implementation principles will be implemented in all 85 coffee industries in Ethiopia. FBC report indicated that from 85 coffee industries operating in the country, 65 are found in Finfinne city, and the remaining 20 are found in Diredawa. Welcome back. You're watching OBN Voice for the People. Now news from abroad. U.S. President Donald Trump has made his first TV address to the nation from Oval Office, escalating a standoff with Congress that has led an 18 days partial government shutdown. Mr. Trump insists on funding for his long-promised U.S.-Mexican border wall, according to BBC reports. However, he did not declare an emergency that would enable him to bypass the lower house of Congress, now controlled by the opposition Democrats. Democrats' leader accused him of holding the American people hostage. The Republican president wants $5.7 billion to build a steel barrier which would deliver on his signature campaign pledge. But Democrats who recently took control of the House of Representatives are adamantly opposed to give him the funds. The ongoing closure of a quarter of federal agencies is second longest in history, leaving hundreds of thousands of government workers unpaid. Many thanks for joining us. That's all for now. Enjoy your time.